orientation. I don't even know if my mic's even on. It is. 2 people in here already. What? I'm a little bit early. Verna, Tempest steadily dropping. CDB saying good morning. I'm on a few minutes early. I'm just going to give it a few minutes. The plan today is I'm going to walk around, kind of a few little updates before I get into my talk, and then I'm going to give my little PSA announcement on Doomsday. Dun dun dun. Just kidding. 5x5. Hey, Mr. Landfill. Thank you very much. Good to see you. It was cold last night here. Definitely felt that Arctic air. I don't know about y'all. I'm not ready for winter. There's things I can do to be more prepared, though. AFK, need more coffee? Yep. So there's things you can do to be more prepared for winter and to mitigate the stress of it and those struggles, depending on your situation and what you got going on. Obviously, I have Michigan snowed last night. Oh, wow. Yeah. Obviously, some of the things I have going on that winter affects is livestock, chickens and quail for me. And so there's things I can do to mitigate the pain of that, of the things that come with winter, such as their water and stuff like that. And a lot of that I'll talk about today as well. Hey, Dad, good morning. I'm going to talk about today as well. So today I'm going to talk about Doomsday, what it is, what I think it is. I'm going to talk about how we can mitigate pain of Doomsday and stuff like that. So it's somewhat a prepper's talk, but it's not going to be like a prepper's talk you probably heard. Part of my goal today is actually to talk to people who prepare and maybe give you a little bit different point of view on it. So we'll be talking a little bit about that today. But y'all are here a little bit early, and I plan on spending the first few minutes showing a few updates on my silky coop, because that's what I've been up to, as well as winterizing around here. It is a beautiful New Mexico morning, though. It's cold, but the skies are beautiful blue. Look at the moon. Let me turn it. Can you see that up there? Everyone's saying hi. All right, so we'll give a quick little walk around while we're getting going. Hey, 15 of y'all in here. Give me a thumbs up if you would. That would be awesome. You have clouds and rain off going on right now. Tiny moon today. So greenhouse is doing okay still, even though we're getting those real low temperatures. I'm hoping that the avocado tree survives. It's not coming inside, it's staying out here. So we'll see how that goes. I'm going to need to come in here today and clear a lot of this out. And hey, Steve, we're going to be packing water in here to create a thermal wall, as well as give me some extra water for plants and animals. Garlic is going. And welcome, y'all. If you're just joining, we're just giving a quick little walk around to show a couple updates before I get into what I want to talk about today. And I start jabbering your ear off. So all the leaves are falling. It's getting cold. I didn't get a lot of straw this year, so I'm just leaving a lot of the leaves and stuff down and doing a chop and drop type method to create some ground cover. You can see we still have a lot of green though. Kale's doing really good. Some of the peppers are still doing good, actually, believe it or not. And then some of the things there. So still got some greenery for sure. I think I can try and save another one of these plants, so it doesn't look like it's gone. I'm gonna try and do that today. Morning, good morning. So today I'm talking about Doomsday. We'll get into that in a minute here. What I think it is. I'm gonna give everyone the inside scoop. All right. So I've been working on the quail shack here. I got one of the batteries in, so I got some of the electronics going. I have gotten a roof on here, weather in Franklin right now, it is cloudy, temperature 45, winds blowing at 15 miles, humidity's at 90. Oh boy. All right, so we've got a roof going on here. I'm starting to put on sides. I'll be putting on flush, the molding or whatever on the sides there. It needs a little door at the bottom. So working on that. We've got this little door fixed up down there and the back. I've started getting a roof on it. I'm going to come and seal it, and also it's just on here and temporarily for now. And I need to put the front flashing on, so it will cover that. Got that going. All right, and then I've been working on it back here a little bit. So I'm trying to get the roof on here, and the roof is multi-layered. I don't know if you can see up top. Way up top there is that black bird netting. So that goes from the very top way up there and comes down to the wall. And that's to keep anything from getting on top of this metal grate. You can see it comes down on the sides. I don't know. Anyways, so it's attached up at the top there. And all I have to do is unattach that so it can quickly pull down so I can get access to the wall. What you're looking at here is a project that's going on, I'm doing. So we're putting up that. It's just kind of folded laying there right now. That back wall piece. Looking good. Thanks, Verna. And then what you see here on these metal grates, these I have built a certain way. I need access to this back wall for both security reasons as well as, just to clean up leaves and things like that. I have that top bird netting so birds and cats of all kinds can't get on this metal here. I've built it in panels though, so that way I can get quick access to it. And if I need, and I'll show that right now because it's really easy to do. And I built them so that if a person steps on it, it's not strong enough to support them. So they will fall through. I want that to happen. But if a cat or something was to get in there, it wouldn't fall through. So if I need to take these down to get access, I have these locking notches. On these panels, and so that way I can get up there and get access to anything that I may need. And then there's metal grate here as well. And then let's see, this one does the same thing. I'm almost done with my little show and tell, and then I'm gonna get into my talk. And so that would do the same thing. This one doesn't have bird netting, that way I can get access all the way through without having to take that down, which is pretty easy. But that way I can get up here pretty easily. And so you can see how it comes down. This one's down, this bar up as I'm working in here. So almost got this done. We are almost there, getting it sealed up. And that's about going to conclude the show and tell. So I still need a couple panels you can see up top there. But just about got that all done. I have decided to use one of my Arduino boards that I'm going to program to operate all this instead of the timers, because then I can have it do it on its own. I can also have it access security cameras. So talking about prepping today as well, I'm going to point out a couple security features or things I've taken into account for this. And one of it is the line of sight. I want complete line of sight of the back wall. The other part is the stability of those grates. I'd want that to come down. And then I'm putting up some more cover. Also the quick access back there so I can get up there quickly to address things if needed. All right, let's walk around here though. I'm going to go ahead and hop into my daily talk. Where did I leave my coffee? So today I'm talking about Doomsday. What it is, I'm also going to be talking about prepping a little bit. But if you look up Doomsday, it pretty much says it's Judgment Day. It's that last day, that final day, or it's a day most people think about when, like an asteroid would hit or a flood is going to wipe everything out, the end of it all. Could that happen? Yeah, it could. Is it something you should worry about? Is it something you can do anything about? Not really, so no. If something's going to hit the planet and everyone's going to go, everyone's time clock's going to run out, a lot of people's at the same time, there's not a lot you can do about that, so don't worry about it. Worrying about it is going to give you a doomsday. It can send you into a mental one. So what is Doomsday? I'm going to sit down here. So Doomsday. Most people think about the day a lot of people go, right? A lot of people leave this plane. And so a lot of people's clocks run out. So doomsday can be personal. I think it's very different. Those ones you can't really do a lot about. Some of them you can, some you can't. I'm going to try this. This has nothing to do with what I'm saying. We're going to pause for a sec because I've been wanting to do... Oh, no. That's a weird one. I don't want to do that. Never mind. So doomsday is, I think, a lot more personal, though. And so this is going to maybe be a heavy talk, but I'm going to try and keep it light and happy. But doomsday is when your clock runs out, right? Sometimes that happens for a lot of people. Sometimes that happens for you. One of my favorite sayings I like to tell people is the end of the world can be for everyone or you. It doesn't really much matter. If you leave this plane, it's the end of the world. That's doomsday, right? And so the reason I talk about it is because there's some sorts of doomsdays you can't really prepare for. If an asteroid hits the planet, it doesn't matter how much food and Band-Aids and beans and whatnot you've put back, you're probably going to go. Do you have the money to buy a $1 billion bunker? Maybe you do. I don't know. I don't. So there's that's something that's out there. So the first thing that most people are going to succumb to, the first doomsday most people are going to succumb to in life, I believe, is simply just a failure to plan. A failure to plan, a failure to sit back and look at things a little bit, to look at things through a real lens. Sorry, the sun's in my eyes. But to look at things through a real lens, to be real with yourself about what's going on. Sometimes that includes being able to look introspectively and stuff like that. But most people are going to succumb. Their doomsday is going to be a failure to plan, simply. And planning isn't hoarding. It's not always storing things back. So there's three big things when people look at prepping or how to survive a doomsday scenario. And those are going to be the 3 or 4, the big ones that people need, right? So you can live only for 3 minutes, about 3 minutes without oxygen, 3 days without water, 3 weeks without food. So those are the big ones people are going to plan for. So oxygen, that's a pretty simple one. There's, first of all, not a whole lot you can do to prepare there. If oxygen disappears, well, that's everyone's doomsday. There's a few things you can do. You can make sure the air you're breathing is good with respirators or things like that. This is something that's pretty common. People do already. They'll throw a mask on if they need. When I'm in the chicken coop, I should be wearing a mask. That's helping protect my oxygen. Maybe going a step further in prepping for some kind of attack. Maybe you have a gas mask or something. All right. So that's one I'm not going to touch on too much because, you know, the next big one people look at is food. And a lot of people's idea when they think about doomsday or how to prepare for it, first of all, let me back up a little bit. I'm talking to people really who are willing to look at scenarios from time to time, not all the time, and are willing to prepare a little bit. And that's not necessarily physically preparing, but if you're not planning to do any of that, I'm not really talking to you. Some people cling to doomsday, if you will, to personal doomsdays or things like that. And they're unwilling to do anything about it. So in that case, in that scenario, that's something that people have chosen. So I'm not really talking to you. I'm really talking to the ones that like to extend their timeline maybe a little bit or do something about it. So a good example of this is your timeline could end rapidly. We don't even know. You could go outside and be hit by a car. Hopefully not. That's horrible. I really hope no one here is, but that's something that could happen. That could happen to me on my way to work. And so my doomsday could be today and I don't even know it. My time is running short. There's a few things I can do to help plan there. I can make sure I take crosswalks. I'm not running around in the street. Being aware. So just by being aware of what's going on and being real about what's going on. If I see something, don't lie to myself. There's no car coming. So there's things I can do to mitigate that doomsday, if you will, but it could happen anyways. So I can store up a ton of food and that could burn up in my house and go anyways. So physically preparing is not necessarily always the way to go. I'm chatting a whole lot, I know. Let me pause for a sec. I have a point to where I'm going, and it is what is doomsday. And there's some doomsdays we can do something. See, I lost most people here. There's some doomsdays we can do things about, and some we cannot. The ones we cannot, kind of let that go, right? don't stress about that. Don't create your own mental doomsday by panicking over an alien attack or an asteroid or something like that. You're going to create your own mental doomsday. Don't do that. Okay, cool. Thanks, Mr. Landfill. Well, let me keep going. So most people are going to succumb to a doomsday by just failure to plan. The next biggest thing I think most people will succumb to is a failure to be able to look at things realistically and be aware of what's going on around them, sometimes introspectively. And so people will succumb to that as well. Taking a few minutes from time to time and sitting down and thinking about what could happen within your wheelhouse, what you could take care of, and how you could necessarily mitigate that or prepare for it. Such as with winter coming up here, there's a lot of things I can do to mitigate the hardships, like having to get the hose and de-thaw it and get water for my animals, my livestock and birds. I can do things now. I can prep water bottles, I can water sources and food sources and things like that. I can put them aside where they're not going to freeze, so that way in the morning I come out and I give the birds water. If I fail to do that, that's doomsday for those birds. But I kind of lost track of where I was going. What's really made me think about this lately, though, is there's a lot of personal doomsdays going on for a lot of people right now. Some people, that's going to be food and things like that coming up. Obviously, with things going on in the world right now, or in our nation right now, a lot of people are going to come up against those struggles. Now, today I'm not talking about how I feel about that, or right or wrong or not. Talking about food still, that second biggest thing. A lot of people get their resources from a lot of different sources and means. Regardless of how you come across that, if it disappears and it stops, it's going to become a doomsday for a lot of people. And there's very easy ways you can help mitigate the food one. No matter how you get your food or your resources, by planning ahead. Storing some back is the way most people do it. Putting some extra cans on the shelf so you can get through a 3-day period, a week, a month, preferably a year, from growing season to growing season. So that way, losing your resource, your source of food in this situation, isn't going to be a personal doomsday for you. Now, some people are able to handle different things. So some people, a doomsday for one person isn't going to be a doomsday for another. A lot of that comes from things you can do. You can build your discipline, your mental fortitude, your things like that. You can definitely increase that in yourself. And so that's part of preparing, right? For some people, losing their resource, their food, isn't going to be a doomsday for them. They have some street smarts, some mental fortitude, and some extra oomph, right, to keep going. I like to tell people, be like a cockroach, hard to kill. And so a lot of that is just the discipline, mental fortitude, and stuff like that. Those aren't physical preps, but those are things that you can do to prepare, so that way you don't succumb to a doomsday like that. Now, of course, putting food back on the shelves, I highly suggest. That's something that's easy to do no matter where you get your food from. Oh no, not that type of beard. Yep, that's funny. Anyways, no matter where you get your food from or your resource from, you can always store some back. So that way, if there is a disruption in that line, you're not going to succumb to a personal doomsday. You're going to be able to weather some of that. So there's some things you can prep there. The non-physical things, though, is you can prep is where the mental stuff, right? Where to get those resources. Maybe you know where food banks are, or people that will help you out, or things like that. You've done a little bit of planning. You've done a little bit of that first step most people fail at, and you've thought about these scenarios. What happens if my supply line runs dry? Well, I've spent 20 minutes thinking about that, so I know a few steps, some places I can go. That's some preparedness still. And some things you can do that aren't necessarily physical, and putting the stuff back. A lot of times those are much more valuable than the physical, because the physical can be lost a lot easier. Hey, thanks, Mr. Landfill. I don't know what you blocked, but that's cool. Oh, I retracted. I don't know. Anyways. So there's a lot of things you can do to prepare for those types of personal doomsdays. So you can go about 3 days, about 3 weeks without food. A lot of people, a couple days though, without food isn't a doomsday anyways. A lot of people could probably go without. Some people can't. Some people, that is a doomsday. So some people are going to be able to weather certain ones better than others. So we've talked about the massive doomsday, right? Everyone goes, an asteroid. Not a lot you can do about it. Don't worry about it. Don't give yourself a mental doomsday. We've talked a little bit about some personal doomsdays that a lot of people could succumb to. Water, food, warmth, things like that. Those are pretty easy to prep for, both physically and mentally. But there's another types of doomsday, and these ones are a little bit more prevalent, I think, that a lot of people succumb to and don't even realize it. And these are doomsdays you can do something about if you recognize them early. You can help avoid a personal doomsday or avoid your clock running out, creating some real hardships that you may or may not be able to survive. And so these are, they're traps, is really what they are. And these are things like debt. And a lot of people succumb to debt. Now, there's different ways you can get out of this trap. Maybe you have a blessing, a windfall. Maybe you really work hard and grind to get out of it. But this is a doomsday for a lot of people that they just fail to see. And they fail to see, once again, because they fail to look realistically. They fail to plan, or that they're just taking hold of that personal doomsday. Debt can most certainly be a doomsday, a trap that a lot of people get into. And if you're not taking steps at looking at it, at trying to prepare, make steps to get out of that, then that can definitely be a doomsday for you. So that's one to look at. Another doomsday, personal doomsday, that a lot of people succumb to, that's a trap that you can get out of, is addictions. That'd be things like alcoholism or stuff like that. Now, I'll give you a little bit of personal stuff in my own life that was a trap I certainly fell into. It was one I was, by the grace of God and just a lot of grinding, I was able to get out of, and I was able to escape from. But that's one that another one that people can get out of that can certainly become a doomsday for people. So it's not always something huge, is what I'm saying. So I laugh at the term doomsday, because when people hear that, doomsday or doomsday prepper, what are you prepping for? The end of the world? Well, you know what? The end of the world could be today for a lot of people. You just don't know. So what it really needs to be is not a fear. You don't want to give yourself a mental doomsday. That's easy to prepare for too, or to mitigate. Sometimes that's as simple as just turning off the news, right? Your doomsday is a lot sooner than yours. When you're looking at time span and you're looking forward to it, so you're going up. Yeah, it's not something you need to fear. I think the term's funny. And when people hear that, it's funny. A lot of people are on the path to their doomsday and don't even realize it, because they failed to take that first step. They failed to look realistically, whether at their own life or situations in the world that are going on. So they failed that first step, and then they failed to do anything about it. Maybe you can, maybe you can't. Sometimes doing something about it, if you can't do anything about it, is just coming to peace with it, right? So kind of a heavy talk. I've lost most of the people in here today. That was my spiel I wanted to go off, because when I hear the term doomsday, I think it's funny. Everyone's going through a personal one. And then with looking at the world, the climate today, a lot of people may be going through their own personal doomsdays now or coming up. And regardless of how people acquire the things that they need to survive this world, it can still be a doomsday. And so my encouragement to anyone listening is take the time, even if it's a few minutes, to look at what's going on in your own life and the climate of the world. Take a few minutes to realistically sit down and just look at what's going on. And then take the time to kick out the things in your mind you can do nothing about. There's no use in creating a mental doomsday over that. And then look at the things you can. Maybe you look at when you look at introspectively a little bit, you see, gee, alcohol is a big problem. This could be a personal doomsday for me. This could cause financial ruin, family ruin, whatever. Maybe it's not for you. Then it's not a doomsday, right? Not for everyone. Maybe handle that well. And I'm just using this as an example because it was one for me. But you take the time to look at that. And then you say, can I do anything about that? Well, if you can, then take those small steps to do everything. And every day you wake up, you get more chances to do things. Just because you failed one day doesn't mean you failed completely. You still get more chances the next day. So why stop those, right? So doomsday for everyone can be different. Don't think of it as a big, huge, scary thing. I got a bunch of retracted messages. I don't know what that is. Anyways, don't look at it as a big, scary thing. Look at it as an opportunity to maybe do something about it, right? All right, enough said. I'm going to walk around here for a minute. Said hi. I don't know why there's some retracted messages, but we still got some people in here, and I'm done with my heavy talk. I'm going to show a few things, though, that I'm doing for winter to help so my birds don't have their own doomsday. They are fully reliant on me, so their doomsday could come quick and easy. So here you see a bunch of water bottles. I'm cleaning out all these. I like to save my bottles. This is to prevent some hardship for the winter. So I'm going to clean these out. These are all going to be filled up with water. I have a bunch more too. And these are preparing animal water, preparing for daily hardship, as well as if water did stop. A lot of things people fail to prepare for is their livestock, their animals. They figure if there's a large doomsday or something, that's not going to matter anyways. But typically, doomsday, as we just talked about, comes in different forms and isn't quite as drastic. So I'm going to be taking all those waters. You're running out of ink. And I'm going to be packing them in here so that way they don't freeze in the winter. But it's going to be easy for me to come grab. Now that's going to help mitigate daily stress from having to do that throughout the winter. That's also going to give me a good supply of water on hand for the birds. So if I did need 3 days worth of water because something happened, I'm not going to be taking from my own personal supply. I'm also preparing for those guys, right? And same thing with the dogs and other animals. So, well, it's a prep I like to talk about a lot because it's a lot of things that people overlook. They think about themselves, but they don't think about doomsday's not as flashy as most people think. It's going to come slow for a lot of people, very slow for a lot of people, and just be a lot of hardships and things, right? So try and mitigate those. These guys, so each one I've done this year is each coop is getting their own containers out here. That helps me when it's real cold and I don't want to be out here doing stuff. Just to be able to come out and feed the animals easily. So preparing for winter, I want to make sure that their feed containers are all topped off, nice and full and ready to go and ready to be out of the elements and all that. So this is going to be nice and easy for me to come grab different feed and give them through their quick and easy access door. We talked about water a little bit, where that comes from in the winter when it freezes because their auto systems aren't going. Another thing, though, is their bowls. People don't think about the containers a lot. There's some to think about. These ones are rubber, and I highly suggest these because when these freeze, I could pick it up and throw it across the yard, break all the ice out, and keep going. So prepare. Top fans in XP. What's the leaderboard place for fans to stand out in the community? The top 3 get special badges in live chat. It resets every stream. Oh, someone was asking what that was. Yep. Thanks, Mr. Landfill. Hey there. Hey, Tracy. How do you get on the leaderboard? You'll need to collect experience points. Yeah. So by being active in the chat, there's a few new things YouTube's doing. One of them is that leaderboard. By being active in the chat and active in the live stream and stuff, you get points. And so that's how you become, like, there's trash blowing over here. That's how you get that. So that's just that. The other thing is there's hype points you'll see sometimes. And by watching YouTube videos, you collect those kind of on your account. And if you see the little gift thing, not the purchase one, but the other gift one in the stream next to chat sometimes, those are hype points. And you can send it, looks like little pictures and things. And what that does is it hypes the algorithm to get your channel out there more. So those are all ways you can help the channel without having to do something. So you don't always have to do physical things to help. In preparedness, a lot of times that's knowledge. That's way more valuable. In YouTube, helping your favorite creator, you don't always have to tip. You can give a thumbs up. You can comment. You can do hype, or it looks so sad out here. Why does it look so sad? Oh, the garden. Yeah, it's all dying off. So preparing for the birds, we've broken down their watering system so it's not going to freeze. I got their food ready. We've talked about their water. These little compartments are great for storing other things I may need. Having it nice and on hand here for the birds. Got a little bit of coverage. It may still get wet. One other thing that's not a big deal, but just something I want to do because I don't like it, is we have a lot of dirt. So I'm going to be adding concrete stones, pavers, through here just to create pathways before it gets muddy this winter. That's going to save me the shoe issue. Matt is alive 15. Matt is alive has arrived, digging the dive, striving to survive. Yes, feeling the vibe, drive to thrive. High five, subscribed, like the live. Matt is back in the chat. How about that? Well, my name is Matt too. So first of all, fantastic name. Second of all, great comment. I'm going to have to copy that. That's pretty cool. I chat all the time, all over. You never seen the hype thing, Mr. Landfill? So it's on the vertical streams, I think. I know you can go back. I think it's when you... So I'm not 100% sure. I've been trying to figure it out. But what I think it is when you go back and watch a live vertical afterwards, you can hype it. Oh no, I know you can do it during it too. So there's hype and there's also Google points. That's something new too. You'll see next to the chat bar, there's like a little dollar thing or something. That's where you can super chat or send me gifts, monetary gifts. Sometimes next to that is like a little present icon, and that's where you can use those Google points and put the stickers on there. Hype, you'll see, I think I see it afterwards, and it'll say hype. Yeah, it's afterwards. So after it's gone live, try and come back to the live and look down where you can do comments and thumbs up and all. And it says hype sometimes and like has a little shooting star or something. And then you hit hype and it'll tell you how many hype points you have. You probably have a lot, Mr. Landfill. And you can hype the channel. And that really helps the algorithm. It might be a phone thing. I'm not sure. Oh, wait, what's that? You thought it was my oldest son? I don't know who it is. Who is Matt is live 15? I don't know who it is. Yeah, look out. Just they're always doing different things. I don't know. I know I've hyped out a couple channels. I like to hype out Papa Pepper. Not really doing a lot now for the last of the stream. I did my Doomsday talk, and now I'm feeling kind of happy and complacent in knowing you can only do what you can. Someone that made their channel last year. Oh, okay. So they've had it for a minute. So it's not brand new. Unless they just changed the name. Sometimes that happens. But it was a nice comment, so I'll take it. This is their watering system. So I have it drained. I guess I kind of lied. I don't have it all broken down. I have it drained, so it's not going to freeze. But I am going to come and disconnect the tubes to the water pump and put a little cellophane over it and close that. And then the solenoid, the same thing. And then this is going to go this year, actually. This thing is turned kind of to junk. So we'll be replacing that next year. It's a mess back here. I need to clean. Oh, I'm going to replace this. So I use these tarps, but these ones will start to fray and come apart. As soon as I see that, I want to get rid of it so they don't just turn into pieces all over. I'm going to be replacing that with a canvas tarp this year. Hey, Joseph, good to see you. Welcome. They have a bunch of subscribers. Wow. Holy cow. Maybe his name's Matt. I don't think he's in here still. Oh, you are still in here. Matt is live. Ringtone does a chicken use. Wing, 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 wing. Do you have a channel there? Matt is live? I guess you do. If so, I'll join. Check you out. You got a fantastic name after all. I didn't have a lot planned today. I was considering going to the store, and then I was like, no, I'm going to give my Doomsday talk because I think Doomsday is something that people should think about, but not in the way that most of the world projects. I think it's more personal, and I think that everyone should prep, whether that be physically or mentally or just by gaining knowledge, surviving, right? I don't really know what to do with myself right now, so we're going to walk over here and have some more water. Oh, channel, but no videos. Okay. I try to accomplish a lot. Got to be growing and building continually. Get you a billboard tarp. They last longer. Oh, okay. I'll have to look into that. I did the chicken because. Why did the chicken cross the road? That's funny. I got to try and think of a joke. Let's see. Do I know any good ones? Oh, man. I'm horrible at remembering jokes. And of course, when I try and think of jokes, the only ones that come to mind are inappropriate ones I shouldn't tell. Farmer Casey likes his jokes. He does. Farmer Casey's got some good jokes too. Yep. So it was cold this morning here in New Mexico for sure. I could feel that Arctic air. It is heating up nice and warm now. I think it's going to get up to like 70 something today, and then be back down. I think this week it's going to get down into the 20s at night though. So I've been had my compressor out, been blowing out all the water lines and getting the water out as part of winterizing. I've been working really hard outside trying to get everything done so that way I'm not scrambling to do it come time. You throw them down. Throw your bad dad jokes down. That is funny. Let's hear them. Why? Oh, Steve's got one. Why did the chicken go to the gym? To work on its pecs. That would be a good reason. You guys, give me your jokes. Sure. I think that's funny because originally when YouTube had asked me if I wanted to put one of those questionnaires in the stream or whatever, it was tell a joke, I think. I was wondering why the dodgeball looked like it was getting bigger, but then it hit me. That's very funny. Do I know any good jokes? People tell me them all the time. I'm just really bad at remembering them. No, not really. What did the dog say to Woody after accidentally swallowing Buzz Lightyear? You got a friend in me. Yesterday I went to the grocery store and I had the ugliest, meanest, and most impatient cashier I have ever had. Guess that is what I get for using self-checkout. I saw that coming. I like that. I'm going to have to remember that one. Where do bad rainbows go? To prison. It's a light sentence, but it gives them time to reflect. That's funny. Is this a joke telling stream or Homestead chat? It was a Homestead chat. I was talking about Doomsday and prepping earlier, and I guess now at the end of it here, we're telling jokes. It's a hodgepodge chat. Would you like some Homestead stuff? What would you like to talk about? The season, the garden, the animals? I can go back to Doomsday. Both. It is a chat of life. Yeah. Yeah. I guess so, huh? When I first started my live stream, I used to think of it as I would like to think of it as a variety show. And my idea was to put on different things, some DIY and some this and that. Live streams kind of changed it a little bit. And then doing this vertical stream is different too. I was trying to do some IRL type streaming for a while there, but I don't know. That didn't work out so well. We might still do that. Let's walk over here and do some Homestead stuff. A police officer came to my house yesterday. He asked me where I was like between 5 and 6. He seemed to be irritated when I said kindergarten. These are things I got to remember in case I get asked, just to try and be funny, right? Here's some Homestead stuff. I'm going to show this again for everyone that's sick of seeing it. This is the silky coop I'm building. These are my silkies. Let's go look at the quail. Joseph's laughing. let's make sure that these quail over here don't have a personal doomsday. So if I stop feeding them, they're going to have a doomsday. I got the quail feed right here, nice and easy access, so that way in winter weather I'm not having hardships. Top them off on their food. And I'll check their waters. They do. So I put multiple waters in here. That way if I get sick, or there's times I take, maybe I take the kids to school and I get in an accident, that happened, and the animals don't get fed for a while and watered, they need to be able to withstand the weather, a little bit of storm as well, right? At least that day. So they have a couple waters in there, so I'll fill these up. Let's get these other ones food. There's still lots to do indoors for me on the urban homestead. Yes, and Spice is probably reminding me there's lots for me to do in there too. Last week you went to the store and purchased a belt, cost almost $75. It was a huge waste. Oh, yep, she's telling me there's still lots to do indoors. All right. Still have gourds and tomatoes ripening. We do. So you guys aren't familiar. Spice is, she's the boss of the house, and so she is. She's doing that. You can offset quail feed the same way you can chickens, scraps, free ranging, etc. Oh, can you? Yeah. Hey, great question. You can. There are some things there though. So when you give birds, quail and chicken, and those ones with the gizzard there, when you give them other foods, you do need to make sure you're giving them grit as well. So the way you can do that with quail is pretty easy. Just give them a sand bath every now and then, and they'll get grit out of it. So if you're giving them other foods, you need to make sure you do that. Definitely, they need a balance in diet. So by giving any of the birds, it's a mess in here, sorry, but by giving any of the birds too much scraps and stuff, oops, you may be giving them less of other things they need, like calcium and stuff. So it is, I'm going to point stuff out because it bugs me every time I see it on camera. The quail shack here has been used for the silky chickens. So it is a mess. I haven't been in here finishing up things, like cutting the foam out and doing that. That is a project here that I'm going to be doing this winter, because the silkies will be in their new coop, not in here. So it's a mess in here. There's a lot I need to do. Look at this. Look at that black widow. Do you see it? Where'd it go? Oh, it's right there. Okay, watch. There's a big black widow. Anyways, sorry, I got distracted. Yeah, so the insulation looks like a mess in here. That's part of winterizing. We're getting that done. Yeah, you totally can offset it and feed them other things. I actually do feed my quail. They get one food, and they kind of get it for a different reason, but I feed them the lentils and brown rice. I cook that up and give them that every couple months or so. That helps with egg production. That gives them the limonene and thymazine, I think I'm saying those wrong. It gives them the amino acids they need. So some of that I think is important. But the chickens, they eat scraps. They eat as well as we do, because they eat what we do a lot of times. If it doesn't go to the compost, it goes to the other chickens. And so they do get their grit, their oyster shell for calcium and all that, and that definitely helps offset their food costs. So I use way less of their food. They actually need food now because of the scraps. The quail eat a lot. The biggest thing I've learned to do with the quail, though, if you're looking at mitigating the feed costs, is by mitigating the waste. So if you can cut down how much waste quail have, because they will throw their food everywhere, then you're going to cut the food costs down. If you're free ranging your quail, or you're letting them out in an aviary setting or something like that for a while, yeah, definitely they'll eat bugs and things like that, and grit and stuff, and seed, whatever you throw, that's going to help. Of course, I give my chickens some scratch greens every day too, so that also helps. So possibly chicken tractor would work if supplemented. Great, yeah, chicken tractor would work great. All the jokes are free range. Are your gourds the edible type? You can't let them free range, Verna's saying, but you could put them in like an aviary chicken tractor. Did all the alligators can grow up to? Did you know that alligators can grow up to 15 feet? Most alligators only grow 4 though. All right, let's see. A variety of edible pumpkins. They can forage, although not as good as chickens. Yeah, so I don't let mine do that. I have a couple ideas about what I do, and this isn't what everyone does. But I know when I start doing meat birds on the chickens, they're going to be up off the ground where I'm at and raised. And that's just so they're not getting those parasites and things from the ground. Meat birds don't live very long, so they don't need to be out and stuff like the egg layers, I think. But I kind of have the same process on the quail. If I'm going to be eating the quail, I want them to be in the cage where I can control all those things. They don't live very long when you're eating them anyways. If they're egg, why is everyone going nuts now? If they're egg layers, it's a little different. But yeah, you name the spiders, they're friends. You found your chickens need less calcium supplement shells, yeah? And they get more, ooh, dandelions, other high calcium weeds. Hey, that guy Chris. So Chris, that is, I didn't think about that. This is why I love YouTube. I didn't think about other high calcium methods. I just always think of crushed shell and egg and things like that. I didn't think about calcium plants or whatnot. That's a good idea. That's something for me to look into. You have to leave. See you soon. Hey, thanks for coming, Matt. Appreciate it, man. You rock. So true, Chris. Furnace saying blessings. Yep. That's a good point. Yeah. I mean, as long as they're getting what they need, there's a lot of ways to do. And knowing those different methods is great. Once again, knowledge. If I can't get shell, which, I mean, I can always crush up the eggs they lay, but if there's a reason I'm needing to up their calcium and I can't go buy it or something, just having that knowledge is great. You can go pick dandelions in a lot of places in the winter. Good point. All right, let's see. What time is it? We're at 47 minutes. I usually go about an hour. So let's go back into the greenhouse. We'll start moving stuff for a few minutes here. Knowledge is power. Yeah. It's the biggest prep you can have. The physical things can come and go really easy and quick. But kale is high in calcium. Is it? I did not know that. Let's go see. You really try not to grow or have animals beyond the carrying capacity. Yeah. So that's a great, yeah. I was actually really on that. I've kind of gotten away, but I was really on that path for a minute there where I wanted to grow. If you look back in some of my older live streams and videos, I was really talking about, I was on a mission to figure out how to grow the grains and all the food I need for my animals here. Now, we were doing that. We grew wheat, I grew corn, I grew some other things. I learned what foods I need to grow. So I gained a lot of knowledge there for the vitamins and nutrient content and all that. What I did learn, though, was here on my little urban homestead, it's not feasible. Now, you're on 2 acres there. You can do it. My goal is actually to get on at least 2 acres. I am really trying, even if it's just a retreat 2 acres in raw land. I really want to do that. But there's a lot more you can do there. I'm on a little less than a quarter, and that includes the house. So what I did find out was I can't feasibly grow enough food here to support all the animals without outside source. Now, I looked at that, and some of that should tell me, well, maybe I shouldn't have the animals that I can't here. But I look at it the same way as I do building out here or water or anything like that. I'm on an urban homestead. I'm water reliant besides what I can catch rain and all that. I'm on a small little area. I wasn't wanting to build structures and things at first because we do plan on moving to land eventually. So when I think about all that, I really came to the conclusion of this is pretty much a sandbox homestead. By the way, plug, check out my other channel. Go and subscribe to Sandbox Homestead if you haven't. I'm going to be putting out more content there. But this is really a sandbox homestead. And my plan here was really to gain that knowledge. And so what I'm doing here is I'm doing the things on small scale, where I'm at on what I got. This is my version of doing the things now. So that way when I go to some land, I can upscale that. So what I did was I learned what grains I need to grow and what things I need for the quail and chickens. Black soldier flies for protein, different mixes. I learned the different amino acids and things like that. And then how to grow those plants as well in 10 by 10 areas. So we've done the wheat, the corn, the sorghum, those different things. I bred mealworms and all that. So I have that knowledge, and I want to keep that basically going on small scale so you don't lose that knowledge. And then when I get on some acreage or something, I can upscale that. And the goal is to be able to supply all the needs from there. That's the goal. Not there yet, but I'm doing the things. Most neighbors are zero-scaped, yeah, and use poison. Yep. Other vegetables grow okra, soybeans, bok choy, reuben, dandelion, greens, mustard greens, tomatoes. Next stage for you is starting a rabbitry. Ooh, easy to produce meat with all the junk feed like weeds. Yes. So we want some rabbits for their compost, really. But oh, and Verna's given all kinds of other ones rich in calcium. Wow, I didn't even realize all these plants were rich in calcium. Harvest your neighbor's dandelions and dry them. Yeah, most people think of dandelions. So a lot of plants too that people just see as a nuisance, as a weed, is not. I mean, yarrow, dandelions. You know what I've always thought? I say humorous, but it's not humorous at all. It really isn't. It kind of kills me. How many people pass away in the wild from starvation and have food all around them and just no idea how to use it? Or this is where knowledge is power. I mean, plenty of times people have passed away not of starvation in the wilderness when there's things under their feet within arm's reach that they can eat and survive, and just because they either don't have that fortitude, that oomph, that drive, that discipline, knowledge, and all that, they pass away. So it becomes a doomsday for them when it didn't need to be. Shame on them, Steve says. Chris, rabbits are great to have, yeah. Start small, fail small, learn big. Hey, I like that. I'm going to use that. Start small, fail small, and then you move on. Yeah, see? Perfect. Sometimes they die from eating. Oh, wait, what? Plantains are weeds everywhere. Yeah. Every plant is edible once, Steve's saying. Yep. Just like I can go parachuting without a parachute once. Here's our kale. Look at this. Let's put the camera over here so the sun. Check out my wife's kale. So I'm going to be honest, everyone. I am not a big lettuce or salad person. Now, just because I'm not a big lettuce or salad person, does that mean I don't eat lettuce and salad? My wife doesn't think I do because she doesn't see me a lot, but I do. I eat it. Just because you're not that type of person doesn't mean you shouldn't be, and doesn't mean you can't be. So you may not like prepping or thinking about things that could happen, and you don't have to do it all the time. Hopefully it just becomes a lifestyle. But just because you don't like it doesn't mean you don't do it. You should still do it. Look at this kale, man. Who was it that was asking about Homestead? Oh, wait. Should I taste it? So we don't use pesticides or anything. So I'm going to say something highly illegal that could get me in trouble and fined, but I'm going to say it anyways. And that is, I'm going to eat this all organic piece of kale I grew. And I didn't pay to say that. That's actually really good. Oh, wow. That's got a lot of flavor. And as long as I'm not eating bugs, that's got a ton of flavor. Wow. Look at the asparagus. I think it's the third year. Might be the fourth now. I don't even know. The grasshopper down there. Oh, this asparagus. It's doing good. It's nice and big. Hopefully we get a lot of it off that this year. The blackberries are still growing too. The bush is growing nice and big. Oh, look, I'm at almost an hour. So we're going to go to the greenhouse and finish out this chat. Y'all rock for staying with me. Ooh. Have I said before how much I really like the silkies? They're very manageable. They're not very loud. They still lay eggs even though they're small. They're little friends. Hey, who's here? FBI. Organic. Oh, I got it. Organic, non-GMO kale. Bill Gates and others will chase you down. Ooh, I did. I said it. You're right. They're going to get me. I live on the edge. Everyone's laughing about that. That's funny. I know. Although, you know what? Of all things I've said, if they're listening to me, I probably think that's the least of what their worries would be. Who knows? They freak out. They like to freak out over weird things, huh? Okay, look at my garlic. I have to get the camera like this because it's hard to pick up. We got a lot of garlic this year, and it's thriving in this cool cold. It'll go until it freezes, and it'll start next year. So this is also the bed we grew wheat in and corn. So it's a 10 by 6. It's kind of the practice bed. I'd like to add another. So what we're doing is, originally we had a pretty good sized lawn, and the kids were a little older. I did like that much more. It was beneficial to our family. But you can see here, I'm kind of letting my lawn die. I do like a little area of grass just to keep. It's actually really helpful when I need to wash dishes or animal cages or things. It's not on the mud. It's in the grass where it will just disappear. So I actually like having a little piece of grass. And I have a sprinkler system I put in. So I'm cutting it where this line is. And then all of this is going to be something else. My wife says a pool. I think wheat. We'll see. Oh, see, she says need a hot tub. With the shutdown, they might not be getting paid. Oh, who's not getting paid? Oh, yeah. Hey, see, now's a perfect time. Everyone, say things are organic and grow your non-GMO stuff. They can't pay attention right now. We're going to take advantage of this shutdown. Now's the time to buy goats, and I need to get some fish, and I'm going to get a horse. Yes, they can't tell me no. Oh, go fishing too, because I don't think the game warden's out there. And what else could we do? My license has expired. The government told me I can't go catch fish because I didn't pay my dues. You want a donkey? We're all getting busted here. I better delete this live stream. Quick. I'm just kidding. Anyways, I am going to be hopping off here. Y'all rock. As always, I plan on being live again this week before Sunday. We'll see how the week goes. Otherwise, I'll see you guys in other streams probably. So I'm going to wrap it up by kind of how I started with my point, right? And that is that doomsdays come in many different forms for many different peoples because of the way they can handle things. Everyone's different. And a lot of times those can be mitigated and they can be planned for a little bit. And there's stuff you can do, whether physical or just mental. All it takes is sitting down, being real about the situation, looking at it how it is, and doing something about it. So like I always like to say, be strong, do the things, go out this week with purpose, whether how big or small that may be, and y'all have a blessed day. Thank you very much, Mr. Lansville, for moderating, and anyone new that came in. You VPN from Sweden. You guys rock. You're funny. Thanks for the jokes and the laugh and everything. We'll see you next time. Bye. I think the chat still goes, so if y'all want to talk, you can. But